Once upon a time, in a quiet seaside town named Brindleport, there lived a man named Elia Wren, a dreamer who built machines that never quite worked. He was known in the town as the Tinker Fool, a man whose hands were always stained with grease and whose pockets were always empty. Yet Elia possessed a strange, stubborn light in his eyes, the kind that refused to die. He dreamed not of wealth, but of impact, of creating something that would lift humanity beyond its limits. Each night, he would stare across the ocean and imagine his inventions flying across the world like birds of hope. But when his workshop roof leaked and his last savings dwindled, he began to wonder if thinking so big was a curse, a dream too large for a single man. One cold evening, while Elia was scavenging old copper wire near the docks, he met an old fisherman named Orin. The man's boat was battered by years of storms, but his voice carried the calm strength of the sea.
How long did it take you to learn the rhythm?
"Dream too small, boy," Orin said, surprising Elior. "You think of a machine.
The horizon is only the
but
beginning
not the
of
world
what's
it will
possible,
touch.
lad.
You think of invention, not transformation." Elior laughed bitterly. "I can barely fix my roof, and you tell me to think bigger." Orin only smiled and pointed to the horizon. "When you fish, you cast where you can't see. If you only aim where the eye reaches, you'll never catch what the sea hides." That night, those words burned in Elia's mind like a flame. For the first time, he stopped sketching devices that could sell and began designing something that could change. Weeks turned to months as he poured his entire soul into a vision grander than his circumstances, a machine that could draw energy from the air itself. The townsfolk laughed harder than ever, calling him mad. His landlord threatened eviction, his tools rusted, and his hands bled from overwork. Yet every failure taught him something new. Elia realized that big thinking wasn't about arrogance. It was about endurance. It was the art of standing tall in storms that try to shrink you. He began writing his goals on the walls. Think higher, fail faster, rise stronger. His workshop, once a place of frustration, became a temple of purpose. When doubt whispered, he answered with action. When exhaustion came, he remembered the unseen horizon Orin spoke of. Every turn of the wrench, every sleepless night became a prayer to possibility itself. One morning, after years of quiet obsession, Elia's device finally roared to life. A humming sphere of energy that drew invisible power from the air, glowing like bottled lightning. But before he could celebrate, the device exploded, sending him crashing through his workshop. When he awoke in a hospital, bandaged and half-blind, he felt crushed. Yet, something remarkable happened. News of the explosion spread, and a group of engineers visited him, fascinated by his designs. Instead of hiding his failure, Elior shared every blueprint freely, believing that greatness multiplies when shared. Those engineers improved his work, rebuilt his ideas, and within a decade, cities across the world lit up with towers that generated clean, endless energy.
It feels like a dream.
Elior never patented his invention. He believed the world's progress was worth more than gold. Years later, as an old man, Elior stood on a cliff overlooking the glowing skyline of Brindleport, now powered entirely by his once impossible dream. Children learned his story in schools. Scientists called his breakthrough the Wren Principle, proof that the greatest ideas are born from minds that refuse to shrink. When a young girl asked him what gave him the courage to dream so big, Elior smiled and said, "Because thinking small never moved the stars." The universe rewards those who dare to think beyond it. As the wind brushed against his silver hair, he whispered softly to himself, Orin was right. You must cast your net where your eyes cannot see. And with that, he closed his eyes, content that his life had become proof that one man's dream could electrify the world.